So Rachel, I'll never forget, I was sitting on the curb behind our townhouse. There was like a cul-de-sac, and the kids were playing in the street. My neighbor was next to me, and we had kids similar ages. And she was sharing with me how her and her husband had decided they were going to do Dave Ramsey. Like, they were going to work to get out of debt. And she looked over at their minivan sitting in the driveway, and it was rusty, it was older. And she was like, I really want to get out of debt, but I hate driving an old car. You know, we go to church, everyone has nice new minivans, and she's like, and here we are pulling up in our piece of crap. And I know for many, this idea of like, but what are other people thinking? It keeps us from getting out of debt, and it also often keeps us from decluttering our homes because we worry, will somebody come in as my family member, my neighbor gonna come in and be like, where's all your stuff? Or you're not a good mom because you don't have all the stuff for your kids. And so that's what I wanna pick your brain about today is, how do we move past worrying about what other people think?
Yes, it's so hard. I wish I could like wave a wand and be like, just don't worry what people think.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I never thought about that before. Okay. Because I think it's part of human nature to naturally want to be accepted, to naturally want to be loved. No one wants to think, oh, I'm going to live a life where everyone looks down on me. I can't wait for that life. Like, right? Like there's a human element there,
right?
That is so true. But I think one thing I always think about, and I tell people, is people don't think about you as much as you think they think about you.
Yeah.
And so even the idea of the car, like when you're in the rusty minivan and it's breaking down, you don't want to be driving it. You're thinking, oh gosh, everyone's looking at me thinking they must not be successful, or look at them, they must have no, or whatever the lies are that you put in your head of what people are thinking. Honestly, the people in the nice SUV getting out, they're worried about their kids and what's going on, and they're worried, am I looking okay? They're worried about themselves the way you're worried about yourself.
Right.
And so I think there's a little bit of that freedom to think through, like, okay, people are just not thinking about me as much as I think that they're thinking about me. And so I think there's that element. And then also, I think it's always a great opportunity, especially if it's people that you know and you're close to in life and you feel comfortable sharing your story, to be able to say like, oh yeah, and even saying, I hate this dang minivan. I cannot wait till we get out of debt.
Yes.
And we're doing this for a reason. It's not because I love an old rusty minivan. I'm doing this because I don't want to be bogged down by car payments.
Right.
I'm doing this for a greater good of my family. And honestly, that is so heroic. When people hear that, a majority of people think, oh, I wish I could do that.
Don't they say that?
Yes.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I wish my husband was on board with that. I wish we were doing it. Because they know the burden of the car payment. Yeah, they're driving the new car, but they're worrying every month if they're going to be able to afford it, or why did I do that?
Yes.
Right? And they're like, yeah, I want to do that too.
Yes, 100%. Oh yeah. I mean, they're thinking that's amazing. Like that's an amazing thing you're doing. And you bring up a good point too. You know, I went through a stage because I wrote a book on comparison, because it was a big thing that I walked through about 10 years ago, where I was like, I don't know if you're an Enneagram person, but I'm an Enneagram 3. So like the comparison trap is like so huge. And I'm like, and I had to break it. I really worked on myself to break that, because it was starting to like really take hold of me. And I then went to like the other extreme, where I would see the nice SUV, or I'd see the nice vacation on Instagram. I'd be like, they must be in debt. Yeah. They must have a huge car loan, and they're not wise. And I would like bring them down in my head, where statistically it was probably true.
Yeah.
I don't know the statistics. But I also now have to be on the flip side to say, can I rejoice with people who rejoice? Like, say that family in the nice SUV at church, what if they worked their butts off 5 years ago to get out of debt, and they saved up and paid cash for it? Like, I want to be able to celebrate people's wins. So I think it's easy to put like I would put this like label on people that had anything nice and be like, that I didn't have. And I'm like, well, they must be in deep debt and must be on the brink of divorce. And like, oh yeah, I would build this whole thing up. So yeah, I think it's just important to check yourself. But it is, but it's hard, it's hard.
Well, and I read recently too, because I had always thought, I'm like, why do I care about brand names? Like, right? Like, but it said that it's actually hardwired in us to look successful in a way that, like, in old times we had our tribes or our communities, and we really did have to stick together as a human race to survive, right? That you wanted to look vibrant and like you were a vibrant member of that community. And so now we've kind of translated it to, I'm successful, I'm smart, obviously, if I can afford this. And so it's something that has been hardwired into us. It's just kind of gotten distorted now over the years. And that was actually very helpful for me to recognize of like, okay, yeah, there is this desire to look successful in my community. But now working backwards from that, where is it gotten out of check? Like, where is it unhealthy? Where has it caused me to buy things I can't afford? And even just that awareness, I feel like, has been really helpful.
Yeah, that's so interesting that, like, it comes innate for that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but we're not trying to just be on survival mode today.
Right.
Like, we are not on that brink. And so to go back, and check yourself. But it's so funny when you see someone, and again, kind of like we were talking about earlier, but I'm like, you automatically, your knee jerk is, oh wow, they must be really good at what they do with their job because they must be making a lot of like, you automatically attribute something, even if it's a 0.2 seconds, and then you can backtrack, but it is. And so and I think to not let those things, as the consumer, as the person buying those things, that it cannot be your identity. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's like, you will live your life like a rat in a wheel, running and running and running and running, gathering and gathering, and accumulating so much of this stuff, and especially if it's brand name, pricey stuff, that it's like that hole it's never going to be fulfilled. It never is. And why we always feel like it is, even though we learn that it's not. Right. It's like we keep going back. It's like insanity. But breaking that and being like, okay, how did I feel after I got that item, that name brand item? Right. How did I feel 6 weeks later? Right. And going back to that, I mean, I think it's so key, but it's hardwired in us.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that a little more. As women, I think we feel the weight and pressure of debt maybe slightly differently than men. And so as women, like, what's at stake? Like, why do you feel so passionate about this topic? Why do we need to work so hard and be uncomfortable and drive the rusty vehicles to get out of debt?
You know, it's fascinating because the number one fear for women, if something happens, are we going to be okay? Yeah. And there's a security part, I think, in a woman that is unique, that we feel. And we feel, and we know if we're living paycheck to paycheck and we're behind on bills, I don't feel safe right now. Right. I don't feel okay. Right. And it's like that. My dad would always say the security glands that like just triggers, and you feel it. But it is so true. It is so true. There's a innate fear there that we have as women that men necessarily, it's not their number one. Yeah. And so I think that to play on that though, and fear is not 100% a bad thing. Chip Dodd says that fear is actually a gift. Yes. Because it tells you you're in need of something. So when we feel the weight of debt as women, we feel it from a security place. Yes. So what is that telling you? If that's telling you, I'm not safe. If something happens, we may not be okay. Like we literally may not be able to pay the bills. So allowing that motivation, not to be your number one motivation the entire time about getting out of debt, because fear, I don't think is a great motivator, but it can jumpstart you. It can get you going on something to say, what can I put in place that I can live? And Dr. John Zaloni, he talks about this all the time, that when you are in debt, there's this level of I owe someone something. Yeah. And you don't feel safe. Like I
have be taken away at any point.
Yes, and it's there innate in who we are. And so I think breaking that down and realizing, and as women, that gift maybe, that fear may be a little bit higher than your husband. Yes. But to be able to communicate that, but that could be one of the jump starting points to getting out of debt. And then I think too, as women, I mean, I've seen so many studies on this that we're like the CFO at home. Like we're the women are usually the ones that are paying the bills. Yep. They're the ones doing the shopping. They know inventory around the house of what it is and what they need. And so there's a lot of financial responsibility that gets placed sometimes on the woman. Yeah. Unbeknownst to her, it's just the way that it played out and the cards fell. But to really take a hard look to say, am I doing this alone? Right. Because when you are the only one that's thinking about it, even in a marriage, if you're the one that's in it, that's a lonely place to be. And so to pull in another brain, right, to sit down with your husband and say, hey, I want to be more of a team on this. But you have a lot of say in that as a woman, because you know what's going on. So I feel like that's some of the weight that we feel with women when it comes to money.
And so I know the next question then is going to be, I want to get out of debt. I want to get my house decluttered. Like, I want to have this peace that you guys are talking about, both financially and in my home. My husband's not on board. I've tried to bring it up to him. He's, really into his hobbies or his things or his whatever. So it's hopeless. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yes. Well, number one, you said it on your journey of going into like the minimalist decluttering style, that you were like, I'm not going to go into Tom's stuff and just throw it all away, right? Like you were like, I'm gonna do my thing. So there's a part of that where I'm like, as the woman, if that is what you want and he will not get on board, start yourself. It's gonna be really difficult though with money, because if it's a shared in the household, like if he continues to go into debt, obviously you're not able to stop that. But there's something about starting that journey on your own, and he's gonna see it and pick up on it. So I would encourage you in that. I would also say make it factual. Because this idea of like, I just want to be out of debt, and you need to stop hunting and camp or whatever you do, and sell your motorcycle and sell your truck. Like, I just want to be out of debt. those ideas are just up in the clouds, but put it on paper and literally do your timeline of the debt snowball. Like list out all of your debts, smallest to largest, and see, okay, if we have this income, how fast can we get out of debt? Because this world of sacrificing is not forever. And everyone's like, Ramsey Solutions, all they want you to do is like live with no stuff and drive crappy cars all the time. I'm like, no, that is not our message. But for a short period of time, you may have to do that. And so when there's a timeline and actual facts that you look and see, okay, this is what it looks like realistically, it's much easier to get him on board than it just being an idea.
And I know too, you know, whether it's decluttering or even being healthier, I know like if I'm like, okay, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm just like, you know, I've been feeling kind of yuck, like I'm going to be healthier. And I might not even say anything to Tom or anyone in my household, but I'm just kind of doing it. There's something about having like some discipline or that attracts others to the process, I feel like. And it kind of, without you even saying anything, it's calling them out, but I'm just living it. Like I don't need to say anything.
Yes.
And like, it's only a matter of like a few days before Tom's like, well, I guess I'm not eating bread anymore. And I'm not, you know, and he's like, and so it's not easy, but if we would just like do ourselves, like stop buying the stuff and all of that, like I do think there is something that starts to, you know, call it out in them, and they might be grumpy about it at first, or, you know, challenge you or be like, why are you doing that, or it's not going to last or whatever. But if we're just like, no, you know what, I have to do this for my own peace of mind, we feel better about ourselves. We feel like, okay, I'm taking action, I'm doing something. I'm not going to sit here and be a victim of the bills and the stuff and all of that. Like I'm just going to do what I can control right now. It often feels, when we hear so many stories of other women, that it's like just a matter of time before it draws them in.
Yes, it's so good.
Well, I mean, Tom and I have often said, I'm like, what's impacted our lives more? Becoming minimalist and just living so simply, or getting out of debt? And I think it's probably been getting out of debt. I love our house. I love our minimalist house. I love just managing just only the stuff we use. But I think the real like mental freedom really came from getting out of debt. And we don't talk about it a lot. I don't know, for whatever, it's like I can talk about getting rid of all my stuff all day long, but then when it comes to money, I don't know. I think because I know so many women want this, right? They want it too. And so I think we both would say, you can do it. We 1000% believe in you. When Tom and I first added up all our debt, it was so depressing and discouraging. And I was like, it'll never, never happen in a million years. And we just did. Took the steps. Tom still, listens to your dad, like his radio show all day long. And I know many have said, like, if Dave turns you off a little bit, listen to Rachel, you know, but
I'm the nicer version.
Yeah. It's like it's the girl version of it all. But you just do it. You do one step in front of the other, and it changes everything. It changes everything.
It does. It's amazing when your stuff and your money issues and your debt own you. There's not only a financial part that you're missing, because when your income comes in, it goes right back out to payments. It's hard to win with money. It's hard to have margin. It's hard to build wealth. When that's happening, there's that financial, but man, there is that emotional piece. Like when you talk about having peace when you declutter, there is that peace when you don't owe anyone anything. And it's possible. And so starting out, I'm like, stop going into debt. You got to you can't dig yourself out of a hole if you keep digging out the bottom. So stop the habit, whatever it is. And if that's cutting up the credit cards, if that's looking at your car and being like, okay, we can't keep this car payment, we're going to sell the car, like whatever it is, stop the process. And then we talked about earlier, but the debt snowball. And I love this process of getting out of debt by paying off your smallest debt first. So many people think personal finance and getting out of debt is about the math and numbers. But so much of winning with money is your behavior, and it's your change. And when you can pay off that smallest debt, when you think it's impossible, we look at our debt and it feels like this mountain. When you pay off that smallest one, it's like, okay, I can do this. It's like decluttering that one drawer in your kitchen. You're like, oh wow, okay, that was I can do this. It's possible. It's possible. And we, because of my line of work, I'm like, I've heard every income level, every debt level, every story imaginable, whether it's a single person, a single mom, an older family married with grandkids, like whatever. You could paint any picture. We have heard it over the last 30 years here. But the number one thing people have in common is they choose to do it. And they say, no one else is going to rescue me. If I want to do this, it's up to me, and I have to decide. And that number one common denominator. And it's beautiful because when you see the freedom when they do get out of debt and they do their debt-free scream, or even sitting here talking to you, I'm like, it's this amazing feeling of like, okay, we can do this, and we did it, and now we don't have the stress of owing someone something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Rachel, this was so fun.
Thank
you for letting me come and crash your studio.
I'm so
and
glad
everything.
you did. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I so appreciate it. It's so fun to collaborate.
We'll link to some of our favorite videos of yours, and Dave, I'll have Tom put together a list too. But I think too, like I know the car thing comes up a lot and worrying about what people think. So you just gotta play it in the background. Join the debt-free communities on Instagram. Unfollow the people that sell you stuff. Follow the people that are also on this journey. Surround yourselves with them, and like it's just a matter of time, and you'll be here too.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks,
Thank
you.